Welcome back, WNST, Towson, Baltimore, and Baltimore Positive. We are positively into March Madness. I am giving away the old school Wishbone Maryland Lottery scratch-offs, 50th anniversary for the Maryland Lottery. Our friends at Window Nation are putting me out on the Maryland Crab Cake Tour. I have a series of, I have been making a list, checking it twice. We were at Drug City on Friday, McCalvin Stadium. It was unbelievable. So much love for the sponsorship, friendship of all of our sponsors, including Drug City, where we had a proper grown-up milkshake. It was something like a Shirley Temple going on around there. We had some fun. And our friends at Window Nation, 866-90-NATION. Buy two, get two free. Month of March, you get 2 years free. No financing. My guy, Leonard Raskin and Raskin Global is going to be talking about that. And, of course, the Crab Cake Tour. I had some crab soup. I visited Costas. I brought some crab soup home from Dundalk. We had cream of crab soup at the Drug City at the Fountain. And you and I got together on hockey last week, Leonard, and we didn't even mention Lamar. It was amazing. We did 30 minutes and didn't mention Lamar. And we got combine now. We've got spring train. We did a lot of Barry Trotz last week, and we did all of that. I'm going to bring it full circle back in with you here on the money machine and the NFLPA. What do you talk about? If you're phone caller Leonard calling in, what do you think is going on? Because you're reading tea leaves here in combines and watching press conferences like I used to be the guy asking questions. Now I'm the guy watching on TV. What do you make of all this? This is the craziest, biggest story in sports, and the Ravens are smack dab in the middle, and their players are popping. It's been a hell of a week in Owings Mills.
I'm sure it has. I'm curious that they hate their strength and conditioning coach.
That's the lead story, right?
That's the guy got what, F minus? F minus is pretty bad. That's worse than F. I don't know how you get F minus. I was fortunate never to see one of those in my whole school career. F minus.
I think you're making that up.
Yeah,
it's like a new grade.
Right, F minus. And then you got guys out there saying they're talking to Lamar. He wants to stay. You got Harbaugh telling the world he's my quarterback. He's going to be here. Don't worry about it. And then you got Eric saying we can't draft a wide receiver. And that was some show with Mr. Bateman. Now here's the thing I never will understand, and I guess this is just my way of the world. An apology is an apology, but why do you delete? You know it was true. You know it was true. Hey, wait a minute. Dude, you're telling me you guys don't draft good receivers, and I was drafted by you as a receiver? And you're telling me I'm not all-pro caliber? But when I went down with an injury, your passing game stunk. And I was doing great till I got hurt. And it's because of your strength coach that stinks. And a mutiny on the bounty. And then...
Oh, you used the mutiny word, did you? I used mutinous. I said to Luke, is this mutinous?
There you go.
And willful bad behavior going out on the internet.
Okay.
I mean, why don't you just call Eric yourself and say,
right,
hey, can I come in and we sit down man to man? I'll bring my agent and we're not beefed. We're here, but I don't want you at the combine pooping on me in the room.
Right.
We're trying to win games
here. Let's face it. We both know, if we look at our heart here, Eric may not have been inferring that Bateman's not a good receiver. He may have been talking about the last 20 years. that we've never as a team drafted a great wide receiver. We've traded for some good wide receivers. We've had some really good wide receivers, but we've never drafted the Calvin Johnson guy, the Marvin Harrison
the Radio
guy.
Row interviews we did the last couple weeks when I was kind of in and out, traveling and checking out Bruce and doing the whole thing. My wife was dog sledding. It's been a crazy month around here.
Yeah.
But I ran interviews with Anquan Bolden,
right,
Derek Mason.
Yep.
Brandon
Steve
Stokely
Smith
the second
Sr.,
time, Steve Smith,
Stokely.
All of that's Radio Row stuff of receivers that came in other ways. I also had Mark Clayton stop by,
right.
you know what I mean, and other people like that. But it has been quite, when you talk about, and we talk about losing Lamar, and by the time people hear this, Lamar might be up wherever, right? Who knows what they're orchestrating behind closed doors.
Or he might be a Raven.
Maybe. We'll see. I think that's a Phil Collins song, Against All Odds. Take a look at
Ah,
so anyway, I
wow.
would just say over
Wow,
all the
you're going out.
years,
You're going out on the bet that he's gone, huh? If
the,
you had
the
to Vegas up, if you had to what is it? National Harbor or Baltimore. Where's
no,
the
I go right to
closest
my
casino?
phone. All I got to do is mobile.
No,
I got
forget your
that right
phone.
here
You
now.
got to
Come on.
walk in. You got to walk in and lay
I'm going to
bucks.
Barstool Sports up in Hollywood Casino. That's where I'm going.
Okay,
Hollywood
Hollywood
Bears.
Casino,
Yep.
and you're laying odds on Lamar not being a Raven when the season starts.
I have no inside
I
information.
get it, but your bet would be he's on some other squad at this
I
point.
I would take that bet all day long as we get closer.
Okay, I'm betting they work it out. I'll take the other side of that coin.
Wow.
I'll
Wow.
take the other
So right
side.
now I can get action with you, right? Like
Right,
old
right. We
school
could we could
action.
we could lay a buck. We could
Ooh.
lay a
Well,
buck for
listen,
a crab
in the
cake.
old days, I would say I'll take any bet you want, but I won't wear Steeler gear.
Yeah, right.
After they let me in last year,
I hear you.
I
I
might
hear
wear
you.
a Grateful Dead shirt and a Jethro Tull belt buckle.
Uh,
Like I might be willing to do anything. I might wear something the Ohio State if I had to.
there you go. There you go. Well, you got the opportunity to go out and see your boy on. Is he on campus this week? Is Bruce
Bruce
hanging out?
Bruce is in Columbus, Ohio. He's at the
Where's he?
Ohio
What's he
State.
playing? The Nationwide
He's playing the hockey rink downtown.
shots? No. That's Nationwide Arena.
He's playing the hockey rink. He's not playing
Yeah,
the campus.
right. So that's Nationwide Arena, not
One of the
Schottenstein
reasons I
Center.
would go Thursday to Columbus and I don't know that I'm going. I have a flight, I have a room.
Yeah.
I've seen Bruce 4 times this month. I should
Right.
clear my throat, but I've seen Bruce 4 times this month.
Yeah.
Love Bruce. He's not mixing the set list up a lot, okay?
Right.
It's a
right.
little bit of an inexpensive show. People always ask me, because I could probably get in for $75. And I
Yeah,
know I
sure.
can get in for $75.
Right.
It's a big rink. The tickets aren't selling that well. I've told you, red states, he doesn't do as well as blue
Yep.
states. It's just a fact.
That's funny.
It's
That's
just
funny.
literally a
I
fact.
had no
It's a
idea.
fact.
Had no
That's
idea.
along the ticket lines. You can go see it. So much of that Jeep commercial in Kansas at the Super Bowl. Remember that one?
There you go.
So, I have never spent any time in Columbus. I was there one night of my life. I went
Wow.
in one night to see Jimmy Buffett before I was married. This is before I knew my wife.
Wow.
2001, maybe. I had an unbelievable seat. I went in for an evening. I had a room. I rented a car. I parked the car. I went to the Schottenstein. I got there early. I tailgated. I did all of that, right?
Yeah.
And I got the hell out of there the next morning. I remember having a really bad nightmare in a hotel there. Like the worst nightmare of my life was literally in a Holiday Inn in Columbus, Ohio at the airport. I'll never forget it. I mean, I thought like it was one of those ones where you got killed in the middle of it and you're in the room, and like the only one in my life was in Columbus, Ohio. So tell me, because you're Mr. The Ohio State, and it's Big Ten weekend, right?
Absolutely.
You're the kind of guy that would be in Chicago stuck with the pep band and your kid, and like
Right.
whether they win or not. Columbus, Ohio. If I go in right now, I would go in, I would Uber downtown because that's the way I would roll.
Yep.
Room, walk around, get a beer or 3, get a sandwich that it doesn't. I eat all sorts of food. I'd find something that I'm in the mood for that day.
Sure.
That is
It's all there. It's
Guy
all there.
Fieri blessed or
right.
Leonard
I was just going to
Raskin
say
blessed,
it's Flavortown, USA. Remember? I don't know if you remember, but just a short couple years ago during the riots, the summer riots about race and Black Lives Matter and the whole bit there, and the world was up in arms, and we couldn't have statues anywhere. There was a petition put up to rename the town. They were going to change the city from Columbus to Flavortown because of Guy Fieri's Flavortown. They wanted to change the name, get rid of Columbus because Columbus was a conqueror and whatever. But that didn't happen, so it's still Columbus.
I didn't hear about that. I mean, I heard about the Christopher Columbus statues and like.
No, they wanted to change the name of Columbus.
I swear to God, I have never really associated the city of Columbus, Ohio, with Christopher Columbus. Like,
well, there you go. They came up with that name somewhere.
Right?
They got that name somewhere.
Next thing you know, you'll have me canceling old episodes of Columbo. I don't know, but as a guy who's been famous,
but there's lots of good food
by a $5 billion football team. I don't want to cancel anybody at this point.
No, there's great food. There's lots to do. There's some great nightclubs if you're there on a Friday night and want to hang out with 22-year-olds, 21-year-olds.
I'm going to be there on a Thursday night hanging out with a 73-year-old.
There you go. Right, right. That's how you roll.
Well,
That's it.
I listen. I was in one of the great college towns that I have ever visited. A couple of weeks ago, I went to Austin, Texas. Did we talk about
There
the
you go.
barbecue?
Yep, yep.
Yeah, so I went there and I went. It was
UT.
the college arena, the Moody Center,
Yep,
and I saw Bruce play there. And the most interesting thing that I realized after it, and this is a free plug for three chains that will never sponsor me,
yep.
but my hotel was on the campus. It was at the edge of campus. It was unbelievable how young people are. Like
Yes,
if I
it's
hang out
stunning.
with your kid,
It's
how
stunning.
stunningly
Oh,
9 years old
blows
he
my
feels to me
mind.
and
Blows
109
my
I
mind.
feel,
Right. His
right? Like,
friends,
is this how far gone I am from looking at these girls as anything, even when they're 26, as
your
anything other than
children,
maybe 14 or
your
wherever
children,
it is, right? That you're just there and you're walking around this
old,
campus.
and you're old.
The concert ends. I walk back. It's cold out. I'm a little hungry. It's a little late. I was more likely to find fast food than a bar, which I thought was a little weird. There
Yep.
was a bar
They
that might
shut
have been
down.
open,
They shut down.
but there was a Chick-fil-A. There was next to it the Raising Cane's that makes all the
Yep.
noise here in Towson.
Yep.
Full frontage in front of my hotel. And then there's a thing called P. Terry's. That's a regional burger joint. A little
Got
bit
it.
look the Habit looking burger, a little bit not a Five Guys, but a little bit like so a little bit like a Burger King, but a little more upscale, like a Big Kahuna burger, you
Yeah.
know. They're
Yeah.
boom, 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 adjacent parking lots, drive-throughs, all of them. It's 11:42. Packed. Packed, kids studying, kids on laptops, kids canoodling,
Yep.
boys and girls holding hands, sharing French fries. It was like being in an episode of Grease with the diner at midnight. And I'm thinking to myself, this college thing. So when you're telling me like I can get out of Springsteen at 11 o'clock
Plenty
and
of
go find a
places.
cheeseburger,
Oh
like
yeah. Now
I'm just looking for a 24-hour experience
you
with
know
the
where you got to
best
go.
blank, either milkshake,
You got to go,
cheeseburger,
dude. If you're in
shawarma.
Columbus, if you're in Columbus,
Go ahead. Here we go.
you
Now I'm
got to
learning.
go. You're not gonna believe this when I say it. You got to go to Buffalo Wild
Oh,
Wings.
come on. I've been
Wait,
there a million
wait. In
times.
Columbus?
No, in Owensville.
Okay, so let me tell you a story. The original first in the nation, in the world, Columbus, Ohio, Buffalo Wild Wings,
Okay.
where it's founded by the founders, the two brothers, founded Buffalo Wild Wings. The dude was I watched this, I saw the show. Do you ever watch Discovery Channel, The Food That Built America? It's a great series.
Okay.
So the guy's a ex-hockey player, ex-ice skater from Buffalo. He's hanging out in Columbus. I don't remember why. He orders some wings at a restaurant. They don't have any wings. They don't know what wings are. This is, long ago, far away. They don't know what wings are. So he decides he's going to create a restaurant that's going to sell buffalo
He's going to import
wings.
to
He's
Columbus.
going to start wings in Columbus, and they open the joint and people are drinking. They decide to be a beer and wings spot. And you remember, think about this. This is 100 years ago when, not quite, but this is 50 years ago-ish when beer and wings were not a thing. And so they create this beer and wing place with these multiple sauces, and it's like a hit, but not a hit. Till one
Wings
day,
weren't a thing. Wings were thought to be a poor man's thing. It
yeah,
was thought to
nothing,
be like something you wouldn't eat. Right.
nothing, right? So it's wings and beer, and then one day they have this dude at the bar, and he asks them if they can turn on the Buckeye game, and they created in that minute what we know today as the sports bar.
How about that?
And Buffalo Wild Wings was first in Columbus, the original, soon to be followed by another place that came out of Florida that took national called Hooters. Yeah.
Well, I've been to both. And let me say this. I built my business on Hooters in 1992, 93, 94. 90. I did my showdown.
We all built on Hooters.
Right? So and Hooters was a big part of my annual King of Baltimore Sports. Buffalo Wild Wings for years sponsored us, and we did every Monday night.
No,
It was the
I'm with you.
strangest. I want to tell a fun story because you're a sponsor and you're a
Yeah.
friend. By the way,
Yeah.
Leonard Raskin is here. He's Raskin Global. Tell everybody what you do, and then I'm going to tell a fun Buffalo.
Sure.
I have several Buffalo Wild Wings stories.
Sure. We do everything money. We do individual and business money. On the individual side, we do cash flow. Make sure that you know where your money's going, that you do conscious saving, that you're putting away money to create your American dream so you can go to Buffalo Wild Wings in Columbus, so you can go to a Bruce Springsteen concert wherever you want to see him, so you can have that home or second home that you want, so that you can understand how your money works, protect it, save it, grow it, enjoy it, pass it on, do what you want with it as you want. And stunning how many ways this always blows my mind, Nestor. I'll tell you, in all my years, 36 years in business, what blows my mind the most when you look around America and you look at people that decide they want to create this restaurant that does wings, or this hangout place where we're going to have these girls and it's going to be called Hooters and we're going to make $1 billion, or these guys that decide deliver pizza in 30 minutes or less, or some dude.
Or how about a guy in Dundalk that wanted to just talk about sports and share his
Yeah.
love of sports with people,
Yeah.
take phone
Or
calls?
somebody creates whatever widget we own. And there are so many ways to create wealth, make money, use capital to create an American dream still today that is astonishing. And there are new things every day. And we help people figure out how to place their dollars so they can have that American dream, whatever that is, whether it's working for the man, getting a paycheck and retiring someday, or whether that's creating the next pet rock and becoming a billionaire doing it. And whatever that is, we're about helping individuals go where they want, business owners grow their companies, exit their companies, transfer their wealth, do what they want with it, and have the kind of financial future and freedom that we all dream about. That's what we do. And we help people do that every day. And it's every way that people have money is amazing. Always amazing to me how capitalism finds the cure for whatever's going on in our economy and our society. And the thing that then surprises me second most to that maybe is the people that think government and socialism are the way to go, and they complain while they're on their iPhone and Apple computer.
Well, I mean, we all have complaints on all of that, but I would say for you, you take great pride, and I know this personally, that
Yeah.
if I am in Columbus on Thursday night, and it's a 50-50 proposition for me at this
Yeah,
point, 'cause I got a
sure.
lot of work to do this week. I missed a lot of work the last couple of weeks, and I like to work, right? That part and parcel of that is that if I'm there on Thursday and you see me selfied up with Nils Lofgren having a great time,
Yep.
you'll know that I took my money and put it to use, and that was my use of a couple $100 and one day of my life to fly out, have a meal, even if it's an $8 shawarma to your point, or
Yep.
$12, basket of wings and a couple drafts at the bar,
Yep.
whatever the experience is, it's where I want to be, and it's how I've chosen to use the excess,
Yep.
the abundance that I have in my life to bring myself pleasure while I'm still here on this
And
rock.
that's what it's all about. And I think so many people want to hoard their money, or are afraid to spend their money, or don't do those things. And then you get to be 75 and you can't go on those trips because you can't walk because your hips hurt or your back hurts or your knee hurts. And you say, I wish I woulda. I don't think anybody, no one I've ever met in my 36 gets there and says, I wish I would have taken it easy and watched more TV. I wish I would have just sat around and not taken that chance, or that thing. Life happens on the edge. Life happens when you get those hairs up on your arm, when you're sitting there and you feel that juice. It's whatever that's about. That's what you should use your money to do, in my opinion. That's what gets you going. That's where you should be. Like, we went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and I was thinking, when we were out in Cleveland, I was thinking to myself as I was in there, I got a picture. They have the last year's inductees, a special room with the last year's inductees and memorabilia and stuff. And I was sitting there thinking to myself, boy, I haven't seen a Judas Priest concert in Oh my God, it's been 30 years. What's the
Oh,
matter
I
with
went to
me?
Priest about 4 years ago. Me and Johnny Allen went down to the
Right.
Anthem. Saxon opened up. It was a big night. Paul Mann,
Right,
we're
but I'm
ripping it
just
up
saying to
down there.
myself, man, they're bringing that motorcycle out of the stage and he's revving it and they're jamming
Halford did
and
the show. Halford called in
right.
and we did a half an hour. I love
And, and
Halford.
then and then then I look at the Hall of Fame stuff and then I watch a documentary on the making of Judas Priest and realize that these dudes were bumbling fools until they got this black leather image to make them bad boys and they went over the top. And one thing I didn't remember that I reminded my wife about when we were at the Hall of Fame, which also was hysterical. Looking back, it was hysterical and it was tragic. Tipper Gore trying to put R ratings on albums so people would know that their kids were listening to bad stuff.
By the
And they
way,
were at the top of the list.
there is a Russian document in the 80s that you can go back and find of the banned Russian music. This
Yep.
goes back to Pussy Riot getting arrested and
Yep.
like
Yeah.
all of that free speech stuff that's going on over there. There's no free speech. It's Putin, right?
Right.
But there's a list of like the Van Halen songs, and
Yep.
it's
Yep.
amazing the songs that are on it. I mean, anything that was thought to be gay, all the Pet Shop Boys, like
Sure.
all that's on
Sure.
there. But like the metal stuff that's on there, but some of the titles, like AC/DC, Highway to Hell, gone,
Right.
right? Like
Gone.
all of that stuff was
Right.
banned from being
And
listened to.
you look at some of the tunes that are out today. My
Oh
God,
yeah, 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 yeah.
Tipper is still around, but ain't nobody talking
That
about
was not a
that
good
rap.
idea. That was not the
No, that
internet.
was
Maybe Al Gore, okay, maybe saving the planet for sure, saving the planet. I don't even want to. But
right.
Leonard, I got to give you this. I'm going to leave you with this week because we'll be back after it. You can find Leonard Raskin at raskinglobal.com. You can also find him right at the front of BaltimorePositive.com. So Buffalo Wild Wings is the strangest sponsor I ever had, and I'm very
Yep.
grateful. Had great wings, met great people out there, had great
Yeah.
fans come out. We had hot
Right.
wing. We did a lot of stuff for years out there. But here's the
Yep.
strangest request ever, okay? All of the sponsorship of sports radio, this isn't new, okay? It wasn't
Yeah.
marijuana, it wasn't cannabis, it wasn't aspirin, it wasn't Viagra, it wasn't Levitra.
Right.
It was beer. It was Budweiser, Miller and Coors built this, built me, built us,
Yeah.
built everything you
Yeah.
hear at 105.7, built sports, built the Orioles. Beer built the Orioles, right? In the 60s and 70s. So Buffalo Wild Wings has me do a Monday night promotion, and it's beer related and sponsored. The only rule was I wasn't allowed to drink any beer. This is in 2012, 13, 14. I'm
Okay.
42 years old.
Right.
I'm there sort of on a beer promotion. I want everybody else to drink beer. It was the most fascinating request ever
Why
because
did they want you to drink beer?
they didn't want me to drink beer.
Why?
Did not. I don't know. I honored it because I'm not an alcoholic. I didn't need to drink.
Right.
I think
Right.
they had problems with other radio stations and hosts getting hammered,
Yeah.
and they thought I was that guy. I'm like, no,
Sloppy on the air.
I own the place.
Right.
I'm not going to be the guy getting the DUI. And I rarely ask anybody. I mean, nobody's ever seen me grab a third beer anywhere because
Right.
I'm not sort of wired that way. I've always had
Yeah.
a beer contract, and a DUI would end my career. It's pretty, not hard to figure
Right.
out. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? So, but they wouldn't let me drink. And I thought, so when you brought up Buffalo Wild Wings, when I
There
think
you
of
go.
Buffalo Wild Wings, I don't think of the beer because I
Right.
was never allowed to drink it.
50 beers on tap, a dozen wing sauces, variety. And then somebody said, could you put on that Buckeye football game? And we had the birth of the sports bar.
And then you thought, what am I going to put on the wings? Well, what do you have in there? Well, let's mix some ketchup and mustard
We'll
up. We'll
put
make
some crazy, whatever you want, we got.
blue cheese. Who eats this garbage? Put that
Right.
on there.
Right. Right. Give them some celery and some blue cheese. I think ranch is the number one dipping sauce.
Well,
ranch.
the story comes from Frank and Teresa at the Anchor Bar in Buffalo.
Yes,
of course, right?
yes,
Okay.
but then that's the whole point. This guy was in Columbus. He's out of Buffalo. He orders some wings, and the people at the restaurant laugh at him like, wing? What do you mean wing? What's a wing? So he decides, you know what? He says what everybody says. Man, if we sold wings here, we'd make a fortune. And he did it. The birth of the sports bar right there, and a thought about having a wing with a beer.
Ask
It's
Raskin for a freaking restaurant recommendation, and he's sending me to Buffalo Wild Wings in Columbus. So thank you,
only
Leonard. I appreciate that.
only because of the nostalgia of the first. The first, that's all. There's great places. There's so many great places to eat there. It's
All
incredible.
right.
What do
Send
you
me
want?
somewhere good. I tried to send you someplace good in Cleveland 2 weeks ago. Leonard
You
Raskin,
did.
he
You
will
did.
certainly send your finances and the spirit of what you're trying to do with your money into a good place. Find him at Raskin Global. Of course, you can always find him at BaltimorePositive.com as well. Next week, there'll be some movement on Lamar, and if not, there'll be green beer for us to drink. He's Leonard Raskin. I am Nestor. We're doing the Maryland Crab Cake Tour, taking down the road, giving away these new scratch-offs, the instant lottery scratch-offs from the Maryland Lottery. They're old. It's 50th anniversary. They're going back to Wishbone, our friends at Window Nation as well. I am Nestor. We are WNST, AM 1570, Towson, Baltimore, and we never stop talking Baltimore positive. Stay with us.